Hi, welcome to the Book Harlots. We're back again with the King. I'm Eliza Mann.
I'm Sage Spelly.
Oh.
Again, we do that.
I'm AJ Norris.
And I'm Sage Spelly.
All right. So I'm going to read the cover real quick, and then we got some stuff that we were going to jump right into. Wait a minute. Hold on. Sorry. All right. Long live the king. After turning his back on the throne for centuries, Wrath, son of Wrath, finally assumed his father's mantle with the help of his beloved mate. But the crown sits heavily on his head. As the war with the lessening society rages on and the threat from the band of bastards truly hits home, he is forced to make choices that put everything and everyone at risk. Beth Randall thought she knew what she was getting into when she made it the last pure-blooded vampire on the planet. An easy ride was not it. But when she decides she wants a child, she's unprepared for Wrath's response or the distance it creates between them. The question is, will true love win out or will tortured legacy take over? That is the question, because they have some moments. But before we get to that, last time we said we were going to come back and give you our top 10. So I'm not going to start. I'm going to let Sage start with hers, then we'll go to AJ, and then I'll give you guys mine.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready. Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to say I had to scratch out some stuff a couple of times.
Several times.
Because it's really hard to decide who number 10 is to me.
Mm-hmm.
But, okay. So number 1.
Yeah.
Famous.
Yes.
Number 2, Rage.
Okay.
3, Vicious.
Mm-hmm.
4, Quinn. 5, John. 4 and 5 can flip-flop, right? They both hold that same spot. Anytime. 6, Butch. 7, Trez. 8, Rev. 9, the twins. Because to me, they're a package deal.
Yes.
And then number 10. So number 10, I went from Run to Saxton, and then I decided who was a Sal.
A Sal. Okay, got it. All right, those are all good things. I can see each and every one of them naked. Okay, your turn, AJ.
Of course, number 1 has to be JM because, John Matthews.
Naturally.
Babe. Then I went with Zephyr because, I don't know. I know we don't know shit about this dude. That's what I like about him. I don't know.
He is mysterious.
And he's always the first one to be like, hey, whatever, like,
I'm down for whatever.
I always think of him as like Core's like second-hand man, even though like it was Throw, but okay. So then Rev, just Sale.
Okay.
D.
All right.
Core, because I like Core.
Yeah, naturally.
And then Trez.
Okay.
He's so sweet, and he's trying to do better. And,
yeah, he want to be a better man.
Yeah, and then Saxton, because he's adorable.
Saxton is the shit. I'm gonna tell you that, but he didn't make my top 10 because I feel like some people are just like gonna be good friends to me.
Well, he is a good friend. That's all right. Friends is good too.
At least you don't have to share him with me. I won't be like banging on your door. Let him go. So I just want to start off though saying that with mine, Lassiter is my best friend. Like Lassiter is my best friend forever, and that is the only reason that he didn't make my top 10. Like I would Lassiter is so gorgeous, but he is more funny and more valued to me as a friend. And I feel like we fucked that all up, but I put a lot of thought into that, and
I have to tell you, I totally agree with that. And then, like, I don't know, I'll wait for his book, and we might go from friends to lovers. Right now, he's up the.
I don't know. He's so gorgeous. All right, so I'm gonna go backwards. So my first number 10 is sex. Yeah, them tattoos, baby. Yes.
He's 7 foot tall. So,
right?
There's got to be something going on there. Mm-hmm.
I know I ain't supposed to like him like that. I know he's supposed to be a bad guy, but I can holler at him. Okay, then number 9 is Core. Number 8 is Boone. We haven't met him in the series yet. Number 7, Eric and Eval, because those are a twofer, like he said, girl. Number 6 is Zadist. Number 5 is I Am. Number 4 is Trez. Number 3 is Vicious. And number 2 is Acel. And y'all already know my number 1. My number 1 is going to be Rev. It will always and forever be Rev. All right. Just so we know. Now that it's all out in the open, I am not surprised by any of your choices. I'm going to just tell you that right now. I could have probably picked those for you guys because I kind of know how y'all feel about these dudes. Oh my God. It was hard though. You're right. It was very difficult.
It was so hard. Like any of these guys can like, other than like my first 3, any of these other ones can take anyone's
They could have just set around.
And then even if they didn't make the list, it doesn't mean like, I really want to tend to be like a running list. So you got like 1 through 9 and then 10, it was like a running list.
Right. And just because they ain't on the list don't mean I didn't think of them. Like
no, I did.
Right,
I really thought about it a lot.
Long and hard. Oh my goodness. I was like, well, do we have to pick? But anyway, okay, so let's get into the king because there was a lot going on. Oh my God. So first, the big question in the book was who was right and who was wrong. Beth had some things that she did. Rath had some things that he did. But in the whole argument and the way they handled it, who was right and who was wrong and why? So I'll start with you, AJ. I started with Sage on the top 10.
I think they were both right and they were both wrong for different reasons. So, I mean, Beth was wrong in how she went about just like trying to jumpstart her meeting without consulting Rath because she knew that he would had a thing about it. And then, you know, it's like he was wrong because he was just like laying down a proclamation. I am never servicing you ever, you know, and like, what the hell, dude? Misogynist much, you know? You know, and the fight they had, ooh.
My God.
And then she like didn't want to come home because it was so bad and she just had to get away from everything. And I don't know, I almost feel like she shouldn't have left. I understand why she did because she was really mad, but I felt like I just felt like she should talk to him instead, you know, but you know, and then of course Raph finds out that she's not coming back, you know, he tears up the billiards room and you know he's
mad about that.
He's being about a male. That's what he was being, and he knew I think he knew he was wrong too, you know. And I think he was right about it because he was right in that he was concerned about her well-being, being pregnant, because there's so much loss in with the females that go into. But then again, I don't think he's taking into account that he has 24/7 medical care available. So where like other people, like one of the workmen that's working in the billiards room, you know, his first Shellen has gone into labor during the day, and he was unable to get her to medical care. So of course she's gonna die because he's not a fucking doctor. And I wonder if that's more of the issue, is that not being able to get to medical care necessarily, that it's just a mortality rate because they're vampires. I mean, who knows? I mean, we don't really know that, right? It's just a question of not having the knowledge, or is it really a question of them being, very susceptible to death at that time? I don't know. We don't know. So
yeah, pregnancy is hard anyway, but it's exceptionally hard on vampires. So they should probably always have, some medical attention on hand. But whatever it was, I don't know that should have been Raph's decision to make on his own. What you got?
Right. Absolutely.
I agree. They both were right and they both were wrong. The problem with him being wrong, his wrong part was just not even hearing what she had to say, not acknowledging how she feels, not, like, she's your mate, she's your partner. And just like you are adamant about not wanting kids, you have to take in consideration that she's adamant about wanting to have kids. So, you know, but, you know, not, he's kind of like us. I love him. You know, I love him, but he's kind of like a little bit spoiled brat, right? He like, basically, you mentioned the billiard room. He threw a fucking tantrum. Like, you know, like all that was missing was him sitting on the floor going, wah, you know, like, freaking out. And I mean, he just threw a full on tantrum, and and those were like his wrong spots, right? Not taking her into consideration, and not looking past what he wants, because he's selfish in that way, you know? And then the way she handled it, being sneaky, going behind his back, you know, hanging out with Layla, knowing that it's very possible to kickstart her needing, and then not going home. So I get being angry and then, you know, leaving for a little while. But I feel like when you leave the house, when she left the house, it was her way of being a brat too, right? Like, okay, I'm gonna make my point too, so I'm not coming home, instead of working it out as a couple. And I think that's where her error was too.
Yeah,
it's a big house. I mean, she could have gone into another room and slept.
Right, like she could have gone to another wing.
Yeah, exactly.
Completely, and he wouldn't come in there. But I agree with you both. I do kind of lean towards Beth was initially wrong, because she had been going for months to hang out with Layla. And I mean, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, Layla.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. I keep thinking of Selena. Anyway, you know what? Anyway, so yes, she'd been hanging out with Layla for months. And, you know, and she knew what she was doing. And I felt like if you knew you wanted a baby, you should have talked to your husband first, right? And then he probably would have felt the same way. But I think what exacerbated the situation was, first, he had no idea. And he felt like when Payne ratted her out a little bit and said, you know, that's why your wife won't even talk to your sorry ass. I think he was already angry. So he came in like, fuck that, I'm not doing this, and you can't make me like a baby, but you know, and that is where their conversation broke down, because she had already done some things that he found out through the grapevine, and I think he felt betrayed. And I think that just made the situation worse. So I feel like, while I never support a man saying, you know, you do what I say, and, you know, when I say it, I'll never support that, because I'm going to always be a feminist, and it should be a discussion between two people. But I get why he was super mad when he came in. It doesn't make it right, but I get his initial agitation with the lady, because she shouldn't have done that. Because that was kind of fucked up. That was like sneaking and getting pregnant, right? Like, that's like not taking your birth control pill like for a couple days, or poking a hole in a condom. Like seriously.
But like, how awesome was the karma? But how awesome was the karma on that one though?
Oh yeah,
like,
I mean, like even. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What I'm saying, I mean, how awesome was the karma with her actually getting pregnant the human way, and not even the vampire way? That was like, all this argument was for nothing.
All of it was for nothing. And
because fate took its place.
She had talked to him in the beginning. Maybe she could have done, like, I don't know, an ovulation thing or something, to kind of see if she, you know, it was just, if you would have given yourself the chance, you know, this would have been a non-issue. So yeah, I think it lays a little bit closer to Beth's feet, but they were both wrong. They were both dead ass wrong, you know? So yeah. All right. So we saw a lot of Raph's father in this book. And that was a nice flashback. But what do you think some of the parallels were? Because he didn't get to know his father as a leader, right? Or as a man, because he passed away so long. So what do you think some of the parallels are that came through? Sage.
Okay. I think some of the parallels were there were a few things. So the one thing that stood out to me right off the bat was they say they were like, he almost talks like his dad, right? Like when I remember in the first book, Dark Lover, when Wrath met Beth, and he came in, you know, like he came in from the window, and she like instantly wanted to touch him, and he was just like, and the first things he said to her was, touch me anywhere. And I don't know
was
why
hot
that
as
line
shit.
stuck
I'm
in
sorry,
my
go ahead.
head. Right. Maybe because I'm like, damn. But that line stuck in my head, and it was what his father said to Anna when they were when they met in their mating, right? So that was like, oh wow. And then the other, like, the parallels are different because it's like they're similar but they're different at the same time. You know, Wrath was a fighter, and his father had to learn how to fight. Wrath is had to learn how to be like a king, basically, you know, where he was, you know, so it was like that was the opposite. But at the same time, I feel like they both had this journey because they both did it for their female. He wanted to learn how to fight, to avenge, you know, his what they did to his wife as well as his father. And Wrath basically took on the throne because he wanted to marry Beth. So like those were like the sacrifices they make for their mates. That was
a big parallel.
Yeah, the parallel for me.
I can see that. What you got, AJ?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I kind of lost my train of thought, so
it's all right. We'll come back to it.
No, I mean, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
We are exceedingly professional, guys. So, you know.
I was like perimenopause brain fog. I can't even. It's like so bad this week. So
it's all right. We forgive you. We're just glad you're here. So
yeah, I mean, there was some parallels, and yeah, I mean, they had similar feelings with kind of slightly different situations. So you know, like when the older Wrath, you know, met Anna, and then when Wrath met Beth, you know, they both, it was like insta bond, really. You know, I mean, I think that Wrath was a little bit like in denial about it in Dark Lover a little bit at the beginning, but I think it was still there because he was just like, I mean, you got to think about it. She was his best friend's daughter. He shouldn't be hacking on her, but he couldn't help it. You know, he just.
Well, he did. His best friend did say, "Take care of my daughter." He didn't say in which way.
I'm not sure.
I don't care of my daughter. Laid it down.
Don't worry. With his penis, like he was like, "Take care of my daughter." Not.
It's like, okay.
Right.
Not take my daughter.
Right. I mean, you know, he couldn't help it, right? So obviously, but I think for me, I saw this kind of disdain for the Glimera that they both had with good reason. But I think that was like a big, even though he obviously didn't learn that from his dad. He has this disdain for them. I think they make their own reputation, honestly, but and they both had this like similar strength in them. Like Wrath's father, Big Wrath wasn't a fighter, but you know, he did like try to, you know, learn how to defend himself and things like that. And I just saw the same kind of strength in each of them. And that was refreshing, especially since, you know, his formative years were not spent with his father. So, you know, I really like his
he
dad,
was like he was almost to his transition. Like he was in his 20s when his parents died. So he would have been around it, but just, you know, so that's gonna rub off even if you're, you know. But
no, I think he hadn't really spent a lot of time learning about, you know, being a king with his dad. You know, he was a warrior for as soon as he turned into his transition. So, you know, I don't think that he had a lot of interaction with the Glimera. They did mention before that when Wrath was very, very young, he was sitting on the floor with his dad while he did things, you know, and he would see him interacting with the Brotherhood. But I don't remember them saying anything about that interaction with the Glimera, because I recall, I think that was Wrath's memory of his father when he was in his office and he was thinking about that desk when he had it brought over.
Yeah, and the one thing I remember it just from John's book was just that because you saw that he did more brotherhood things, I think, with him.
Yeah.
Because he was in the cave, he was like 7 years old in the cave when, the king said, hey, who's gonna go after, Texas mom, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
so I think he was more, maybe he just felt, shielded him from the Glimera because the Glimera, like the part of the aristocracy and the council tried to, kill his father and tried to kill his mate. So it's like, of course he doesn't want to have anything to do with them. So
yeah. And that might have been, I think, more the hatred of the Glimera for the parts that they play in, some of the things in the past. So that might have had a lot to do with it too. I wouldn't like their ass either. I'm just going to put that out there.
He just didn't, and he never really, I mean, if you think about it, even after he left, his parents died, he was on his own, right? For like all those years until he transitioned, and Marissa found him, right? So he really didn't have, so he really didn't even he had no contact with them. And probably what he heard from them, he probably heard was ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like what he saw, like everything that Marissa would go through and stuff, like he thought it was crazy. So
and his mental outlook was like he was a commoner, really. That's how he kind of looked at it that way, because he was, he was a loner, he's kind of a lone wolf, and he just, he just wanted to do his own thing. He didn't want to, so he just was like, why are they so ridiculous?
They're kind of bizarre, but I feel like we're going, let's jump around a bit. So Pain and Wrath, they had a moment. I feel like everybody was fighting in this book. So did Pain go too far when, first of all, he almost killed her, but when he said, as a result, I'm not going to fight with you anymore, and they were arguing, did she go too far when she went into the locker room and held a knife to the man's throat?
No.
I don't know. I think she did,
she wasn't going to kill him.
At the end of the day, I know you guys will say that, she's the daughter of a deity, but at the same time, he is her king. She acknowledges him as her king. So, you kind of went too far. Putting a knife to your king's throat. You know what I mean? And not only that, busting in on him butt ass naked. Like, poor guy was holding his goddamn package while he was talking to her. I mean, I don't know. I felt like, not that it was, I love that she put him in his place. I love that she put him in his place. But maybe, like, not in the locker room while he was butt ass naked. Maybe you should have, like, caught him outside the locker room after he got dressed.
Well, her point was that, you think you can kill me, but I can kill you just as easy because I snuck up on your ass. You didn't even know she was there.
Yeah, but I think he was. But I think he was just like, he came from I get where he was going because we were in his head, and he literally was gonna kill her. Like, she can say all she wants, that she can push him off, but something triggered in his brain at that moment. He couldn't see her. He just pictured monster, and that's what he was, trying to strangle the shit out of her. Like, he was not gonna stop.
And then George is like barking at him, like, dude.
Right. So he had reason to say, I'm not going to fight anymore. Because he wasn't fighting with his brothers anymore anyway. He was only fighting with her. I think he wasn't going to fight anymore.
I think he was just going through some shit, like, I don't think she went too far. I like that she put the knife to his throat, because that really was a wake-up call to him. Like, oh yeah, she could have killed me just as easily as I killed her. So, she's like, how very dare you being misogynistic? That's not, no. I'm not an easy opponent just because I'm a woman or a female.
Well, I think she wasn't listening to him either, because he was telling her, no, chick, I was gonna kill your ass. I wasn't.
Yeah, like, I legit had nothing.
I have a hair trigger right now, and I it's not that. So she didn't listen to him. And she probably should have, right? Because he was like telling her legit, like, I wasn't right in that moment. And as far as her going into the shower, I just feel like that was like a privacy violation. Like, it was boundaries. Like, I get you a Didi, and I, you know, I think that's why she had the balls to do it in the first place, because she, like, we've never seen each other as anything other than sparring opponents. So I can see you naked, and, you know, you can't see me naked, but that's not my fault. That was so disrespectful. I shouldn't have said that. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't think she saw him as, you know, as a violation, but it was definitely like an overreach.
Well, you know, in this world, they have a different view on nudity too. So you have to kind of consider that, you know, because like their rituals, they do them naked, like the Brotherhood rituals, you know. So they're not like humans in that respect, or like people who are, they're not as modest as, you know, other people. You know,
I mean, but he was holding his junk, so like he didn't want her to see it.
Because, you know, I mean, it's like he's hanging out there, you know what I mean? And she's he's also needed, and so he, you know, he's just like,
I feel like they're exceedingly modest. Like, I feel like if Manny would have seen her in there with Raph naked, he'd have had a fucking fit. Like, I think it would have been bad. Like, I and they are like they treat women very like daintily. So I do feel like they have modesty. I think she, you know,
but she doesn't. I don't think she's seeing him that way though. Like, she's not seeing him in a sexual way.
I understand what you're saying, that she's not seeing him like that. But I think that she probably did not give a shit at all that his penis was out. She didn't care. But that was the whole point, though. That was her, like, I guess because she didn't have that boundary, you know, that was the issue. She went too far.
Then I kind of look at it as that I think just character-wise, it was showing you as a reader how that he was vulnerable, you know, and that being naked in the shower is pretty vulnerable, you know. I don't know.
No, that's true. That's true. Yeah. I think my biggest issue also with that whole thing wasn't even him saying, I don't want to fight with you. What bothered me about Raph was like, I'm gonna go tell your brother. Like, come on. I mean, she's kind of mean. Like, what are you gonna go tell her brother for? You know what I mean? Like, you can apologize to her husband, like, hey bro, I'm sorry, I almost killed your mate.
Well, I think they have to like the brothers are supposed to be like responsible in the absence of parents if she's not mated. And that's kind of why she was like, I'm a whole ass mated. I'm a grown ass woman. Like, what are you gonna do to me? You know? But I think that's where he was going with that, even though it was fucking wrong. Like, I really don't. I don't love the way Raph can be a little bit of a dictator at times. You know, like, I mean, he has to be right because he's king, but you know, I think sometimes he exerts his authority. He like, no, don't question me. Just do what I said do. You know, so it was wild. But the other thing, so while Payne was in there with this argument, she says, you don't even know what the fuck going on with your wife. Your wife is doing some shit that she don't even want to talk to you about. Did she dry snitch on Beth? Like, was that right or wrong?
Like, I don't think she meant girl code. I don't think she meant to tattletale like that. It just came out because in the heat of the moment, because she was like, you know, her point was like, you're a chauvinist. She doesn't respect you. Look what she's doing. You don't even see it, and it's under your own fucking nose, you know, and you know what I mean? Like, I was like, you know, she was trying to make a point. I don't think that she should have put Beth under the bus for it, but I think she was making a point. So
ooh, it needed to happen, right? I mean, you know,
he needed to find out one way or another, and that, you know, in her anger, it coming out, it worked. It worked.
Yeah. I mean, we needed that, but oh my God, I was shook. I was like, girl, did you just tell it? I'm like sitting there like, I don't know what Raph is gonna do right now. You know what I mean? Like, she just told you your wife is trying to get pregnant. I swear, I do feel like it's like a hole punch in a condom. Like, why did you? Anyway, I'm not gonna go down that lane, but I do feel like she should have been a little bit more discreet with Beth's information, but I know why. Like, she was really, really pissed. So I completely get it.
Another thing I think, like, character-wise for Payne, she is just blunt and to the point, and she doesn't really see.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's like almost like she's like her mother in that respect, is that she doesn't really see. She doesn't have, not that she doesn't have empathy or anything, but I don't think she saw that as, like, she's just telling the truth. Like, she doesn't see it in any other way than black and white. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, in some ways,
you know,
not about
she
everything.
was trying to stab him. I feel like she was like, and there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she was trying to get. She was digging at him for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Oh my God, that was something. I was feeling a way about that. All right, so it was a little bit more going on in the household. Like Beth and he really, really opened up to her, almost as much as he opened up to goddamn Cat Boo. But why do you think he chose to, like, lay everything on the table for her and have those intimate conversations with her? Because they had never had that before.
Yeah, I almost feel like, he saw that, because the Shadows are very, what's that word? Empathic. That's one of their traits is, is being empathic. And I think that he saw that she was feeling away and feeling very vulnerable out in the human world and not knowing, what's going on with her body, how pregnant is she, that kind of thing. And so I think he was just trying to, this is what's going on with me, and she asked. It wasn't like, and she's like, you don't have to answer me if you don't want to. And I think that he felt like, well, yeah, he deserved a little attention, and maybe that's what he needed. He needed somebody to kind of listen to him too. So
yeah, it was really sweet. What about you, Sage? What do you think?
Similar. I think that I don't know if it was to comfort her, but I feel like no one has ever said, so hey, I am, how are you? How's it going? Yeah. Like, what? Tell me, and she was questioning him that way. And I think he was holding it all in for so long. And it just kind of came all out. Yeah. It just came right all out. Yeah. Like, I need, like, you hold everything in, and then when, like, it's almost like tears. You hold them in, and then they just pour down. I think that's basically what it was for him. He was feeling it in his heart all this time. He worried about his brother, worried about everything that's happening, worried about the possible death of his parents. All these things were, like, weighing heavily on him, and he felt out of control because, like, how do we stop that? Send my brother away, or this all, So I think that pressure in that moment, and when she was asking him, just came right out.
Well, and almost like he doesn't take time for himself. It's kind of, in a way, he's kind of like Fury in that sense. Fury used to just, like, do everything for everybody else and not, and never worry about himself. And so this is the first time he was like, okay, yeah, I'm, this is what's going on with me. This is why I stayed a virgin. This is why, and just all these things that, he's just like, he needed to unload, and she was there, and she's a nice, warm person. She's kind,
So. I think I would agree with that, but I also think that I do think that people have tried in the past to kind of get him to open up a little bit, and he's just not. He's like, nah, dog, I'm going to make the stew. And, I think that's his method of showing people that he cares too. But I think goddamn Cat broke him down a little bit, and he was, like, vulnerable and holding this cat and and developing a relationship. And I think Cat started to, like, imprint on him or something. It's so cute. It's absolutely adorable. I was, like, in love with their relationship, and then I really enjoyed the way that, because Cat Boo kind of brought everybody together.
Yeah, and I love the description of when, he's Selena comes down, she is in the kitchen, Iams over his stew pot or whatever, and then the cat is, like, clinging on to him and doing all these things, like, all over.
I know.
So he has to have Selena help him take his migraine kit upstairs. Like
Mm-hmm.
the cat forced him to allow her to help him, you know?
Yeah, it was very like she was like Boo Key. Boo was very, very like instrumental in getting Selena and Trez together. Because he was like, I don't need your help. You know, it was so cute. I just love that. But more about them later. So the Glimera tried it. They actually tried to go through with Dethrone and Wrath and almost made it to Dethrone and Wrath. Like, would they have done that if they didn't have like that brute force of the Band of Bastards behind them? Would they have been ballsy enough?
I don't think so. I think that I don't think they would have. I think that they needed
They're a
muscle
bunch of
because
wimps.
they didn't know what the Brotherhood was going to do in response. So,
right.
Yeah, they're a bunch of wimps. There's absolutely no way.
Well, yeah, they've no
there's absolutely no way they would have done it without muscle behind them. They're just a bunch of pussies. So I don't see them doing it at all.
But they didn't even like respect Core either. They kind of just was like, oh, well, when you finish, we're gonna take over anyway. You know what I mean? Like it was kind of like they thought they could use him to get what they wanted to, because they never really appreciated Wrath not like cobbling to them and making them, you know, a part of, you know, giving them more power.
Yeah. On that note, do you think that the Glimmer, or you know, the time and Elon and all them that were trying to do this, do you think that they thought that they, after, you know, getting power, that the Brotherhood was going to be loyal to them? And even though Wrath, like older Wrath, had already changed the Brotherhood to be his personal guard.
I do. I think that that's what they were planning to do. But yeah, I think that's what they were planning to do. I think they were gonna, you know, I think they thought that the Brotherhood was a package deal, and they don't know that they kind of pledged their fealty to the Brotherhood, not necessarily the king, right? So
Right.
What do you think, Sage?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking. They were thinking the Band of Bastards would take them out, maybe, because they just they tried taking out Wrath, right? So they really thought in the beginning the key would be to kill the king, and when that didn't work, they figured they would take over, and then he wouldn't have the power to be able to, you know, like survive death, basically.
Right.
Or
Well,
their
I think, yeah. Well, like I was trying to say, and I don't know if I made this point or not, but just that they thought that then they could, like, once they gained power, like these, you know, who was going to be Econ or whatever was his name, Incan. Was going to be like his
cousin or whatever.
He thought that then he could command the Brotherhood to take out the bastards or something, and it's like,
yeah, I feel like
not loyal to they were loyal to Wrath, not the crown, you know, and that's
right.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think they understand the relationship there. Probably because, you know, the Brotherhood is there for the protection of the race, so they probably think that goes hand in hand, but not if you like take out the king. You know what I mean? Like that, it's a mess. So yeah. Anyway, so all right. So we talked about the Glimera. Let's talk a little bit about the wedding ceremony. Oh my God. First of all, that was a stroke of genius, Beth. Like, I didn't love it at first, but once I got with it, I got over myself. The ceremony was so beautiful, and I want Lassiter to do my next wedding. And, you know, wasn't he cute? Let's talk about the wedding.
He was adorable. He was adorable. I love him. But I loved the wedding. I cried when I was reading that part where when she's walking down the aisle with John, and he's like, what's she look like? What is she wearing? You know, I mean, when he couldn't see her, man, I'm like about to tear up now. It was just it was so beautiful. And even though like they were doing the vows, and like Lester was like, oh shit, I was supposed to ask you first and you first. And it was just, but it was just like, it was sweet. And it was just, I loved it. It was so nice.
Mm-hmm.
The Elvis costume.
And the Elvis costume, that was freaking awesome.
Oh my God.
And the Tomador hair, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Oh,
I can totally see it too.
It was like, I'm a minister. I went on the internet.
Oh my God. Right. So V was like pissed. I'm like, V, don't be jealous. Don't get me fired, V. He was like, I'm a goddamn daddy. And they like,
and like, this guy?
Right. You're like, and I named you with a pastoral certificate that I printed online.
Yeah,
I love it. I absolutely love it. It was one of my favorite scenes.
It was like we desperately needed the levity. It was some shit happening in this book.
There was no fun. Right?
All the bad stuff. All the bad stuff was going down. Yeah. But yeah, I really enjoyed that wedding. I think I missed one. We were talking about the fish thing. Like, did you guys remember that from before, the fish thing? Like, they can't. It was like an affront almost. Like, no, I would never give Brad fish. But goddamn, Ken got it.
Well, yeah, because Ian was asking if he had any fish in the house, and he was like, and Fritz was like, no, and never on the table, and never on the plate.
Right.
I think that's the only thing I have in common with Brad.
Yeah. It was
that's the only thing I have in common with him. I was like, oh, we have something in common.
Well, and that's the thing. Even I am was like, I don't like seafood either. So it's like, is it a vampire thing?
Get this seafood. Oh my God, they were so cute. Oh my gosh. All right, so we're talking about I Am and Trez and Selena. So why do you guys think Trez was so whorish? Like, was he trying to like sully himself so that the princess wouldn't want him? Like, what was his reason for being with so many women? Like, he was like, I don't know, it could have been 10,000. Like, like, why do you guys think he was behaving that way for all that time?
I think it was a little bit of, so it was a couple of things. So I think one, the mentality is that if he sleeps with, when he goes to his queen, or princess, whatever she was, if he slept with other women, he's dirty. So he was trying to hit like the record, I think, subconsciously, of how many people you can possibly sleep with to be labeled as dirty. And I think that was one thing that he was doing. And then a second, it was almost like to numb himself. I think it was like, I feel like crap, so I'm just going to do this, so maybe it'll make me feel better. Forget about the time. So I think he, those were like the two reasons he did do all that.
Probably.
I kind of think that he doesn't really like himself very much. That's sort of my impression. So I think it was like, yes, because if he's soiled, he can't be soiled for the queen and that, a princess or whatever. And then if he is, and they find out all this stuff, then he has to go through this cleansing ritual that may kill him. And it was almost like, not that he has a death wish or anything, but it's like, he wants to be punished. For whatever reason, he just feels like unworthy, and I might as well act like it. So
I get that. I get what both of you guys said, but
I agree also with Green too. So, but.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I do agree definitely with the him wanting to be so dirty that he wouldn't, she wouldn't want him, and it would set him free. But I don't think that he necessarily has like low self-esteem. I feel like it was almost a thing where I can't choose the life I want to lead, and so I'm gonna live it up now. With that in mind, I'm going to be with this woman that I don't even know, that I don't even love. And the family lifestyle at the Sahid is not one that's fantastic, right? So they like had these arranged screw sessions, like, you stay in there a couple of days, but it might take you months and months to have sex with your wife. Like they don't have this ideal utopian life that he saw everyone else having. He'd been around the brotherhood, and they have like this free shared relationship. Their mating is for love. And I think I just kind of got the impression that he was like, if I can't have that, then what's the fucking point? You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Poor guy. I felt so bad for his ass. So we know Trez was a mess, but why did I am take it upon himself to have to be the one to fix it?
That's a mystery. Brotherly love is the only thing I can think of. You know, and maybe he felt sorry for him because he's like, God, he's trapped in this life that he's going to have to lead. He's going to have to be this like brood stallion. You know, he's like it's not a choice he has, and so he, he just feels for him. You know, he's his brother. You know, and just but I mean, other than that, I don't have any clue why he would do it for so many years, other than he just loves his brother.
It's that Fury thing again. Hero
I was just
complex.
gonna say
What
that.
you guys think? Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Paige.
But
No,
he also.
you're right.
Okay, never mind. Let's stop that.
Lots of thoughts about I am. He was on all three of our lists. So okay. So go ahead.
No, I was just gonna agree with you with the Fury thing. I saw that parallel as well. You know, he was trying to save his brother. And I think with I think the reason why he was doing it was because his parents, like their parents, it just gave away their son for wealth and status and I think being like I think he's the older child, right? Is he the older child?
I think I am is the younger.
Yeah, I think
I think I am is the younger. It was like birth order in the stars for I can't remember. I
don't know. For some reason I was picturing him the older brother, just because
he's the responsible one. That's
he's
why.
The responsible one. So
I know, but I
that's
think Trez is older.
Yeah, he went around slutting it up all over the place like Trez is. So he's fine though. I mean, a part of it could be that he knew he could, because like he's hard to ignore. He's like one of these like super tall, gorgeous people, and like when the real estate lady saw him, she was married and everything. She was like, I'm gonna just have to do this.
And the way Selena describes him too, just like how he's just so dark and just lovely.
Yes, he's a tall, gorgeous hunk of man. So I accept. I mean, yeah, I accept. Anyway,
his eyes glow peridot.
Oh. I would be done for it too. I wouldn't have been able to ask any questions. So that brings us to the sex. How we say sex? Anyway, so yeah. So what do we think of him first before we get into all the?
I want to meet him. I want to meet him in person.
Mm-hmm.
I also want a sex scene in his point of view.
Okay.
I really, really do. Like that one girl that went into Trez's office and was like, "Oh, I heard about him."
Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you.
Like, what can I do to repay you?
Oh, store afterwards.
Like,
yeah.
So, yeah,
like,
I definitely want to
climb that mountain.
He's a tall brother. So he's like 7 feet, and he has these white tattoos, and he's like strong, silent type. Like he doesn't. Mm-hmm. Oh, I was like, good God Almighty, I would have went over there too for free, but that's a gorgeous ass man. But okay, so besides how he looks, that's not all we were talking about with him. They struck up a deal with him. They said, okay, so you keep coming here, we're gonna give you these girls, we're gonna, give you whatever drug you want, like whatever you want, you can have it, as long as you like give him some more time. Why do you think he took that deal? Because he's kind of the queen's right hand, right? The executioner. So why do you guys think he took the deal?
Yeah, I think he feels sorry for Trez, and I don't think he likes the queen either.
Yeah, I mean, she's not much to like. They're not exactly nice.
And we haven't even met her. We don't like her
at all. at all. She's but you know,
she makes me hate astrology.
Right? Like I can't even talk about that. The stuff I want to say right now, I can't talk about it yet. I gotta wait till the things I have to say about this broad. But so why do you think he took the deal, Reem? The same? You think it was because
I think that I really do believe that he thinks that Trez was getting an unfair deal, right? So I do believe he really truly thought that, because in all reality, he's really badass. He didn't have to like kind of try to figure out where they are. You can tell, like, as badass as Trez and I am are, they're terrified of him. You know, like he's like, they're badass, but this guy scares him. So
agreed.
Agreed. If he really wanted to, he could have taken them back, no problem. This whole deal, right. But I think that he took the deal because first, he likes women. Like he was like, I want to check this whole like apartment lifestyle out. Give me the girls. I'm good with that. He likes that. But at the same time, I think that he did it because he felt that they were getting a raw deal from the queen and their parents, right? That's why he went and was like, oh, okay, you want me to go back and take your parents' money and title? You got it. I'll be back.
That for you.
Yeah,
I don't like none of them.
And his name is Sex. So
and his
yes, true that.
He's a 7 foot tall mountain.
Yes. So I think I agree with all of those things. I do think that he had a little bit of what I think Trez had going on. Like, give me a minute out here in these streets because I want to kind of set free, because they just don't have those types of indulgences at the Sahib, and it's not even like something that you can admit to wanting to experience, but you know, more on that in the shadows, because they're just such a uptight society, like, you know, like the exact opposite of the Simpath. So I think that's why he took the deal. Like, he obviously didn't need it, like you guys said. He could have taken them both back, right? Anyway, he found his frog here. I cannot wait. So so he made my top 10, obviously, because of that. So on that same vein, Trez really wanted to stay out, even more so when he met Selena. And he, so much so that he confessed, you know, a lot of different things to her that even some of the Brotherhood didn't know yet. Like, he opened himself up to her. But on her side, she didn't tell him that she was a virgin, and she didn't tell him about her illness. Do you think should she have been a little bit more upfront with Trez about the things in her life?
You know, yes and no. So she's thinking this is just a casual thing. I'm a Eros. I'm gonna, you know, I just want to experience this because I'm terminally ill. I don't think she realized that he was bonded to her. I think that if she had realized that, she would have been a little more empathetic towards that, you know, and not want anything to do with him because she is not going to survive, you know. And so, you know, I mean, and she was just trying to experience life before she died, you know. And here's this male who's gorgeous and he really likes me, you know. And yeah, it's selfish, but I don't think she even realized that he was bonded. I don't think that she hadn't been around males. Like, he was her first experience with the male. You know, she only ever been around Fury, so she didn't, you know, she fed the other, you know, the brothers, but, you know, she, as far as like, you know, being intimate, I don't know. I just think that she was just, I mean, she probably should have said something, but I don't think she did because she didn't think it would matter. So.
What you think, Sage?
She should have said something. I'll admit. Even though earlier I was like, no, I'm not gonna blame her for that because one of my characters did that. But I think she should have been honest, you know, before about the virgin thing, as well as her illness, especially her illness, because he should know he was opening up to her. Had he been very vague about everything in his life, then, you know, she would have been right. So yeah, she was wrong. But I'm gonna say I understand why she did it. Because telling someone you are dying, like, you're gonna get the sympathy. You're gonna get, even if he's not interested, like, you could tell that she's kind of like screw that, I'm confident, right? And I think that by telling him that she's ill, that he might, feel sorry for her. And I don't think she wanted that. I think she just wanted to have, like AJ said, a good time and enjoy life and enjoy the things that she never got to enjoy in all her years in in the sanctuary. So, she just wanted to have a little fun. So I understand why she did it. I think that she should have said it. I
think it was a little bit selfish on her part because first, he could have hurt her. When he went in, I don't think, because Trez had been wanting her for so long and he was so excited. And, that's something that, two people should kind of talk about. I get why she did it. I do. I think she was like, I'm just going to have a fun time with this fun guy and I'm going to, live it up because I don't know if this is my last day, being around here because my illness is getting worse. So I get why she did it, but I just feel like he could have hurt her. Like, it could have just been a really bad situation and it was too much. You know what I mean? Like, he was.
Yeah, but the poor girl was probably like, what if he says no because I am, and then I'm going to die a virgin, I'm gonna die. My body just froze up like 20 minutes prior, so I could have just died that moment. I'm
not a mindset that
she totally seduced him too. Like when he goes to the great camp and she's like in the tub and she's like, why did you just see me naked?
Right. So he wasn't.
All her training showed right there.
He wasn't going to say no. He didn't have the capability to say no. Like, he would have, but I feel like she should have kind of known, because she is trained in how to seduce a man, even if she hasn't ever gone through with it. So I'm like, you should have told him so he could prepare himself. He was not going to leave you. You know what I mean? And maybe that's just her experience. Maybe I'm just being
I don't know. I think that she thought she didn't want anything to get in the way. And I seem to recall there was some sort of inner monologue with herself where she was just like, I can't tell him because then whatever, if I say something, he's going to shy away and I don't want him to do that because I want to get my rock on,
Yeah. She wanted to hit that real quick.
I know. And I should be like totally okay with this, but I'm like, you shouldn't have done it. You should have done it. I don't know. I'm a big old softie when. Now, if he wouldn't have opened up to her, I probably wouldn't feel any type of way. But I kind of just feel like he was so vulnerable with her. And Trez not, nor I am, are extremely vulnerable with people that they don't trust. And, it just kind of hurt me just a touch. So, was she playing with fire? She didn't understand. You mentioned earlier, AJ, that she didn't understand that he was bonded. And that is completely... because she hadn't seen a bonded male in action. So is she playing with fire? Like, should she have seen these stop signs?
You would think that she would have known the warning signs, but, she had very limited experience. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that because she never references, you never hear her think about, oh, well, he's bonded or he's sick. She just has no clue. That's just how he smells, you know what I mean?
That smells really, really good.
That's why they
she had no reference point. She had zero reference, for that kind of
thing. What you got, Sage? I see you down there.
I was like, but no, I was like, that's why remember I told you guys that they needed a program for the Chosen.
Yeah.
This is another Chosen. The next Chosen that we're reading about that gets is confused, doesn't understand what's going on, making bad choices because she was not educated in the world that they live in now. And they needed a program. And Fury is like totally slipping. And if it wasn't him, Cormia should have helped him out with it. They should have did something.
Yeah, I think Cormia's just as clueless.
Yeah, they're just clueless. They're all.
The
These
blind
poor
ones, yeah.
girls. These poor girls. I hear you on the training program. I'm just trying to figure out who would have taught that training program. Like,
Not you.
like the Sky Virgin isn't exactly. Fury ain't savvy either. Like, he just got his rocks off like a couple books ago. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, guys. I gotta get my charger at some point.
Was it like it could have been like Marissa? It could have been like Bella. It could have been one of them. Like this.
Well, Mary
programs. They produced them. One of the fallen chosen. You know, like somebody should have sat these girls down and explained to them how the world works.
I know. It's so messy, but
I mean, like Layla had, but you know, you got to look at Layla too. She had to learn School of Hard Knocks. Nobody told her, like, she didn't know that there are things in the world that can affect somebody's perception. Like the whole thing with you know, when John had his transition, not to go back to always John, but this, you know, but she, you know, like where, you know, she was showering with him, and then all of a sudden, you know, his mind went to his past, and he lost his, you know, his excitement, you know, and she blamed herself. Like, I'm ugly, I'm not attractive, you know, and she had to learn, oh, that wasn't really the case. That was just him. But she had to learn that the hard way. Nobody told her that, you know, right. And so they don't have the frame of reference. Like they don't understand that, right. Because they live in they were coming from a very tranquil, albeit actually, I think more dystopian than utopian, but they just didn't realize they were in a dystopian environment. But they were just so sheltered, and they, you know, they didn't, nobody ever, at least they never voiced wants and desires, you know, it's like, you know, they never had negative experiences, at least as far as, you know, we can tell. And, you know, it's really, so they have no life skills whatsoever.
Right. That's why they needed the program.
Like Fury,
right? They needed something.
What the problem is, Fury?
I don't know.
I picture Fury like with all the chosen. Sometimes in my head, I picture him like I don't know how to describe it. Like a guru getting high and all these women around.
Oh, like
a harem.
Harem?
Yes, I'm sorry. I picture him in my head.
I did not
like with the joint, you know, there's red smoke. Like,
yeah, I think he quit red smoke. I hope he did.
I don't know. That's what I see. I can't help it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but they do definitely need something, because Selena was just out here just, you know, wilding out. But speaking of the chosen, Layla.
And why,
you know, we get mixed reactions with Layla all the time. But in this book, she decided to take upon herself to go and find Cora after she found out what the Glamir had done with his assistants. She took it upon herself to go and find Cora and make a proposal. Like, I will do you forever if you don't harm the king. And I'm like, girl, was that altruistic, or was she really just trying to get her boo? What y'all think?
I think that she thought it was altruistic, but I think deep down she really realized that, you know, it's because she wants Cora just as much as he does, you know, because before they make this pact, she was like, you know, they were in the car together the first time, you know, they were in the car together, and he was telling her how he felt, like that he wanted her. And then she, you know, then she's like, oh, you know, he's like, well, maybe you're not in the same place I am. And she's like, yes, I am. You know, so we already know she has it for him. And so, but she tried to deny it because he's this enemy and all this stuff. So she's making an excuse to be with him.
Yeah. How about
so.
you?
I mean, she's like, I don't even know how, she's not even really lying to herself, because I remember that scene with her and Beth, where she let Beth assume that she was in love with Quinn, but she knew she was thinking about Core. Like, so she knows what her feelings are. And when she made that, I think she like, it's not even like a deep down. It's like right at the tip of her tongue. Like, I like him. Like, it's in her. It's in her sight. She knows she does.
Yeah, I just think she just wanted an excuse.
But she's letting him think she doesn't, because she doesn't want to. Like, she thinks that he only wants her for the sex. Not. I don't think she realizes that he wants more from her, other than that.
I don't believe that, because I think she knows that he's bonded, because she can recognize, she's been around the mansion long enough that she's not like Selena. She's been at the mansion. She knows
and Quinn
about
and
bonding and all that stuff, because she's
they gave her the overview. Kind of a heads. They gave the tutorial. Maybe they should be the training program teachers.
Maybe, right?
Right. They should do it. But
when you think about it, it's like some of the shows are gonna wind up being, in that, the community, LGBTQ, there's gonna be some that aren't, so they should be doing it,
Yeah, I
feel
feel
like, hey, it's okay, love is love, so.
Yeah, I think that Layla has always been a little thirsty, and I get it.
She's in Euros too.
Love, and finally she meets the one guy that she like really clicked with, and he was clicking with her, and he wanted her, and he's like out in the meese looking around for her and all of that stuff, and I think she like, this is my opportunity to get what I want. Let me take it, because this will look favorable. I don't think she meant it to be manipulative, but I do think that there was some selfishness in her actions. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think she was trying to run game. I think she truly loves Core, but I think it was the selfishness in there. Like, this is my dude, and I want to be with him.
Yeah,
and maybe she thought that in the future, because of her being able to stop him from doing what he's doing, maybe she can be with him in the future. And maybe that was
right. Yeah. Like, can you apologize? Like, when they were in the car, she's kind of like, can you just apologize and make it go away? Because I want you. I want to do the things with you, like all the things.
All the things.
I want to get with you.
I also think that Core is taking advantage of the situation. He'll have her any way he can get her. He's acting like a bonded male. That's what a bonded male would do. So
I don't know if he would have put her in that position though, because he was like, I know where they are. I'm not going to tell them where they are, because I don't want harm to come to her. Like, I think he would have never asked her to put herself in harm's way. He know that she having this other guy's baby. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he would have asked her to do that.
No, and if he was gonna do, I will have her in any way I can have her, he would have taken her up on the offer of having sex before the baby, but because he was like, he's not doing it now, like
it would probably feel weird, right? I mean, I imagine, because he loves her, and then she's pregnant with somebody else's baby. Like, I don't think he would have been able to take that. Poor Core. Oh, I love him. I'm sorry. Were you gonna say something, AJ? I got it all in my.
I still think that he's still taking advantage of it. He may not have like said, "Hey, it's tit for tat," but she's the one that suggested it, really. So
it
was her suggestion.
He was like, "All right."
She is.
So, I mean, because he wants her. He's like, "I'll take her any way I can get her, even if it means she thinks that that she's trading something." I don't think in his mind he is. I think he'd already made up his mind before then that he was not going to attack the Brotherhood, because he could have gone home that night and come back.
I think he would do anything for her, as evidenced by him heading over to Macy's and getting him some nice threads. How cute was that?
That was adorable.
That's a nice
Oh my God, I'm in there. I'm looking at him like, and he had no idea. He had nothing, no clue what to wear, no clue how to smell, no clue what shoes. Oh, and the salesman was adorable. Like, dude, I don't need that much money. What's your favorite part of that scene?
Oh my God, I actually have it written down. Hold on, I'm sorry I went to go look for it. My favorite line when he was like to him, knock her dead. He was like, oh no, this should not be necessary. This one I like. It's like freaking love
that. He was being literal.
Don't you want to be in the salesperson's head to like hear what he was thinking? Like, I mean, this guy looked a little rough around the edges, but
well, it's like he didn't get that phrase. Like he didn't understand the phrase. You know, that it was just
no, but it was awesome.
It's still hilarious. Still hilarious. I love it.
I know, and then he's like, you know, like I've never worn undergarments. I guess I need some of those too.
I think my favorite was when I think I already said it, but when he was like, okay, so how you gonna be paying for this? Pull out all this money. And he was like pulling it out his hand. He's like, I don't even know what the fuck this guy. Just take it all. You know. So, oh my God.
To get out of there.
And the poor guy was like, this one, just some of these.
I need one of these big guys and two of these little guys over here. We all good. Oh my God, it was hilarious. So yeah, that humanized Core a lot for me.
Yeah.
I think that. You know, not that he wasn't already becoming endeared to me. I was already digging him, but you know, to see him be that vulnerable, that was so good. But let's talk about somebody else in the Band of Bastards, Thoreau. Thoreau rolled up on, look at your face. Thoreau rolled up on our girl Layla at the apple tree. And he was really aggressive with her. And you could tell he was obviously pissed off. Like he grabbed her arm and like, what were you talking to him about? Why was he really mad? Was he mad because he wanted to know what Core was up to, or was he mad because of something else?
This is the thing. I think he already knows that he's not bonded to her. Like he didn't bond her, so he doesn't care if he hurts her or not. You know, he doesn't give a shit. She's just another female. I mean, you know. He's so creepy. Like he's just a big creeper. I just, you know, and he just, he's not trustworthy. You know, he's living a double life almost, you know, because he's really, you know, part of the Glimera, but yet he's been living as a nomad with these fighters, you know. I think he never really let go of that part of himself. So, you know, he's a creepy. I think he was trying to find out what Thoreau was up to, or what Core was up to, not so much that he was like mad at her specifically, but or maybe in a way mad at her because it was a distraction for Core, and he was just like, what the fuck, I thought we were going after the throne, now we're not, you know.
Yeah,
because of you, you know.
Yeah,
you know, so but
that's a design.
He's just not trustworthy.
Okay. I'm sorry, I was distracted by my shirt.
It's okay.
Oh my God. Okay. All right, Sage, what you think?
So I don't know if he's creepy. I don't, but I think that he's kind of a dick.
Lurking in the dark. What do you mean he's not creepy?
Huh?
He's lurking in the dark. What do you mean he's not?
Yeah, but he's also a dick, though. He was doing it to be vindictive, right? So he was doing it to spy on him, to see what he's doing. I think part of it is like, you know, he brought him Layla, right? So he's probably like, I thought we agreed as a team that we weren't gonna see this chick no more. Now you start seeing this chick, I've been following you, you're seeing her, and then your whole demeanor changed. You don't even, you know, we have plans, and now that you're with this chick, you don't want to follow through. And I thought that's what we were here for, right? So I think that's where he was coming back. The way he held her, he was vicious and very, you know, very, like, it was creepy and scary. Because, like, Core walking off, which was weird too, like, he didn't sense him coming. Or he didn't sense him.
He was too far
gone.
on. He's too in his head.
Gone on Layla.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have done it.
I thought that Layla handled the situation well, though. You know, she didn't give him what he wanted to know. Like, she was like, she was like white lies almost. Like, she was just like, you need to ask him,
Yeah.
that's not, so.
And I like that she came in and prepared to lie too, because she had that lie like memorized. She said, I said it so many times, it almost sounds like the truth,
Yeah. She practiced in the mirror.
I don't think he's creepy. I think he's hurt. I think hurt people. And I think when he was betrayed by Core, he was stabbed by Core and left for dead. He had his sister's ashes for years and didn't tell him. And then I was digging on this girl, and you took her, and then you even betraying me with the Brotherhood. Like, we were supposed to take over the world together. I gave up everything for you, and then now because you something happened and you just changed your mind. So I think he was very hurt by all of those things, and he doesn't know how to process it. I don't think that Thro would have normally grabbed her the way he did. Like, that was a lot. Like, he grabbed her and he was like all in her grill, and I'm like, sir, back the fuck up. So I think he just is like mentally breaking down, right? Like these other signs.
He's spiraling for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Poor Thro.
I just think it's creepy. Anyway,
Thro will be back.
He's a nasty bastard.
Oh, he is a gnarly son of a bitch. It's nothing about him. It's nothing about him that I like, but I digress. So, my number 2, Acel and Vovo and Medisol. Oh my God. Lots
Don't forget the
happened
twins
too.
Yeah.
But before we get into what happened, the twins, God dog it. Eric and Eva, I'm drooling. They're so good looking. What? Okay, I don't know what to say about
you're going to talk about them. I'm just saying that they was like, I will cook for them anytime they want. Okay. And I'm a pretty darn good cook, so I will cook them whatever they want.
I would be like hanging around your house, like on the patio, like, hello.
Right.
Let me in. Oh my God, they are so fine. So that's one thing. Another reason to love Acel, because he comes with a set of twins. But how exactly many men did Acel kill looking for his lady love Medisol? Oh my God.
6, 8, I don't know. He killed like
I think it was like 8. It must have been
no, there was
like there was like 4 at the house,
the very beginning.
Moise's house. And then
just one more, so it was 5. Right?
Yeah, it was 6. It was 6. Because it was like 4.
It was a lot of blood. It was a lot of blood.
It was 4.
Okay.
And then she killed
Louise. And then Ben Louise looking for her. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. Solo was a badass though. Like, he was coming to rescue her, but she was extremely resourceful with getting out of that trunk. What did y'all think of that?
Yeah,
I love that. Like, the guy was like, "Hey, wait, don't just open the trunk." Like, and he's like, "No, it's good. I got this." And he's like, "No." And then she comes out and gets him with that what is it? The
flare gun.
The flare gun, yeah.
The flare gun.
Oh my God.
So that was awesome. And then she's just so badass. Like, to even be in the right mindset to like to shut herself down, allow that man to like think that he was getting some, and then do all that she did. It was
outstanding. She had to cut his hand off, like, dog.
Right.
Like, that is badass. I'd have been crying in the corner. Like, I'm sorry. Go ahead, AJ.
No, I know. I was gonna say, like, she had endured almost getting raped. She killed the guy with a flare gun, and she strangled the asshole that tried to rape her. And then to top it all off, she's like, oh, now I need to get out of here. She thinks it's the guy, okay, I got to use a thumbprint to get out of here. She thinks it's the guy she killed. His face is all burned off. And then she like drags him over to the door, and it's like, fuck, that doesn't work. And then she's like,
oh my God.
Shit. She's like, I can't get him up the stairs.
That's so hardcore.
I know. She's like, I can't get him up the stairs. So so she sawed off his hand. Cat,
that was a lot. I don't know if it would have worked. I don't know if I could have done it. I don't know. I'm kind of a wimp about stuff like that.
But this is the thing. If you're in a life or death situation, like, I don't think that her reaction was a bad thing, because it's like, if you have to do anything you can to survive as long as you can.
Absolutely. I think, well, fortunately, I haven't been in one of those situations, but if I ever was, I would hope that all of these things and these life lessons that I'm learning from,
these are major life lessons,
will get my ass out of it. Speaking of badasses, though, Bobo, her Grammy was, woo, I love this lady. She stared those vampires down in their eyes and said, you will take me to the store. And do you believe in the Lord Jesus Christ? And you get a cross in your house. Like, I'm like, girl, she just killed 40 people.
But I love how they all cower to her. Like, yes, ma'am.
Right.
Whatever you like, man.
Well, because I think that they were just so shocked by her reaction to them, because she was not afraid of them. Like, because even though like they're like this really good looking, they like extrude this like
dangerous,
menacing thing.
Yeah,
even like the sale, even like Sola was like, these guys, like,
She ain't good.
they're like scary dudes, and she's just like, nope, take me to the store now.
Whatever, take me to the grocery store. Take me to the grocery store.
And they're like probably like lost puppies.
I felt like they weren't gonna survive with her. She like, you gonna do what I say. It ain't gonna be no problems. Oh my gosh, she was adorable. But as much as we love her, did y'all feel like she knew a little something that she hasn't let on?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah?
I do.
Because she didn't even question, like, they don't go out during the day. She never questioned that. Like, these guys are in the house until it's dark.
Right.
Well, they have a job that they do at night, so I think that's why Sola doesn't really think about it. But the grandmother, you think that Bobo would be like, so I think I think she senses something, and I think that we're gonna find out more about her hopefully later. I don't know. She I know. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying what we're gonna find out, but it's just. I just feel like she knows something. She's very intuitive.
She should have her own book. She
should
be Fritz's woman.
Right. They would be perfect together.
I'm matchmaking like goddamn cat. I really want those two to get together. And ever since I met Bobo, I was like, the first thing I thought was, fuck, I really want her to be with Fritz. Because they seem like the same kind of people. You know what I mean? I
think that Fritz is getting to the end of his life, so I think that if they were together, like it would be like, it would just be like they would just be, you know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't be an issue, even though he's like, 500 years old, or how old he's like.
Right.
So like, yeah. So I don't think
he's like, well, she is human. Because I'm hitting around that I feel like she might not be human. I don't know, but she just seems
I think there's something there. I don't know. Maybe she is part vampire. You don't know.
Let us pray. Or maybe something else, because it's other species, right? We know that. But anyway, what you think? Say that. I don't know if you squoze your thoughts in there.
I mean, I love her. I want more of her because she just makes me laugh. She's kind of like a Lassiter, to where when she's on the page, she just overtakes the page. And I just love that about her. Yes, I've shipped her and Fritz together from like the first read I had of this. I just think that they would be so cute together because they're both like bossy. But
I know,
and just adorable,
oh my god!
Together. And then I don't know what else did I miss in that.
I think it was It was if she knew. How do you feel about her, and if she knows more?
She doesn't question stuff. She kind of goes with it, like don't ask, don't tell type of thing. She's kind of really good with that, and it makes you wonder. And then offline, AJ made a point where she said that Zola hasn't gotten her happily ever eternal after.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like where we haven't seen how she's going to survive as long as it's
so there might be something there that we haven't gotten.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're not to the thief yet, so
I know.
I didn't even find out there. You didn't find out Netflix.
I think I just spoiled.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like,
sorry.
Yeah, but it's not.
We know it's bound to happen. I mean, shit. We read all these books and we know all the things.
Yeah, but that her eternal light or whatever her like being taken out of the time doesn't even happen in the Thief. So that's why
I know. I was just joking.
I know. I feel like I spoiled, so I just stopped.
So everybody relax.
Sorry.
So when Asale gets her back, they were in the ER, not the ER. They were in the training center, the medical center, and Asale, when he finds out that she wasn't raped, she says, she saved herself. He passed out. Was that relief, or was it just he was overwhelmed with the possibility that she could have been raped? Because he's not exactly the type of guy that gets faint. Why do you think he passed out?
I don't know. That was like, I guess it was relief because it's either that or the drugs wore off.
Maybe because he hadn't had cocaine.
And he hasn't had any blood because he usually does the coke when he's not having any blood. So I don't know. I'm wondering if he was just really, really coming down.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I don't think he was coming down. I think that he was relieved, and I think he was overwhelmed. He's a bonded male, and he just, he was like, "Oh, thank God! It could have been so much worse." And just the relief of knowing that she got her shit. She took care of herself. And I think that that also, he liked that fact that she took care of herself too. And I think that he just was like, oh, thank God. Oh, and just everything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I kind of think it was kind of like he had been going for days looking for her. And I don't think he slept. I don't think he ate right. I don't think he did anything right. And then, that last bit of tension where he was worried about if she could have possibly been raped, I think that just took him out of the game. And he finally I can relax, but now my knees buckle. Poor man. He went
through like a hypoglycemic moment.
Right.
Oh my God. Poor guy. And he didn't have his dough. But so, after all of that, he finally thought he had her, and she said, I can't stay with you. And we know that it was because of this deal she made with God. But did she really leave because of that? Or was it because back at the cabin when he had killed Ben Luis, she got a glimpse of him, what must have looked like a monster to people who don't know that there are vampires. So did she leave because of her vow to God and him selling drugs? Or do you think she left because she was afraid a little bit of him? Because otherwise, wouldn't she have stopped and asked him to quit? What do you guys think about that?
I think that I think it's a little bit, I don't think she thinks he's a monster, but I think that she feels that if she doesn't leave and she doesn't get out of town, that she's going to be susceptible to wanting to be into the life because she does like that life, but she knows it's not good for her. She's like, no, I don't want to die. I want to take care of my grandmother, and I don't know. I think she left because she has convictions, I made this pact. I don't want to, and her faith means a lot to her. So she didn't want to, she's like, I can't go back on this. And if I stay here, then I'm going to want to be in this life. And I don't know if she's afraid of him. I think that it's sort of like she knows he's dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
But fear. I don't think she's afraid that he's going to hurt her. I just think he's just a dangerous man, and I can't be around this right now. So
yeah. What about you, Sage?
So I did find it kind of weird that, I mean, she did kind of question why he had blood on his mouth, but she really just kind of like, I mean, I don't remember ever watching a horror flick if it wasn't a vampire or a werewolf or one of those movies where, you know, a slash murderer, somebody kills somebody, there's blood on their mouth, right? Unless they're Hannibal Lecter, you know, or a vampire.
Right.
So like she never really questioned that very like deeply. So maybe she did kind of like don't ask, don't, you know, don't want to know kind of thing in the back of her mind.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah, like I don't think she really wanted to know. And then her not staying and her going, I think it was because of her pact. She was afraid that if she stays, that I agreed that she would want to be in that life. But I do feel like if she would have asked him to stay, if he would have told her, I'll give up the life if you stay, I think he would, you know, she might have taken that offer.
Yeah, I think he would have at least tried. I think he did mention, like, I couldn't let this go right now because I put too much work into it. But I think he was kind of just telling himself that, like, you know, I don't think he would have let her go. He's bonded. And that's just the way it is. And he had to, like, physically restrain himself from going after the car, even with the sun coming up. You know what I mean? So I think that he would have, but I do believe that she knows that there's something different about a sale. I think, you know, she saw the blinds, and in her mind, that kind of like, I feel like that like cemented something, like, oh, he is different. You know, like when the blinds.
I think she definitely knows something is up. So
I do think that she was like, okay, I made this vow to God, and he's not altogether right. Like, you know, like if he was in a fight, he could have had a bloody mouth, but he was savage with it. Like he was dripping with blood. You know what I mean? So I definitely think she knew that. And I think that might have like influenced her decision to go a little bit more than the vow to God. I mean, of course, we'll never know the truth. Because it's her subconscious that is probably fueling that. But I feel like she's like, oh my God, he's a little bit too much for me, even for me. You know what I mean?
Like that scene where he's got the blood. Did he with the tip of his fangs sticking out? I can't remember.
The tips of his fangs were showing.
Yeah.
He said it. He said, damn, the tips of my fangs were showing. Because he was gone when he opened the door. He was like, just like concerned for her. She was hurt. And he was like, I got to save her. He wasn't thinking that he was like, you know, drooling blood and his fangs were out because he was so angry. And I think for a minute she was like, maybe I'm just out of it, you know.
Like hallucinating.
Yeah.
But we know he said his fangs were showing because when he went into the bathroom, he saw his fangs and he was like, damn.
Okay.
You know,
that's what I thought. I was just couldn't remember. So
that's what it was.
Yeah.
Savage. So she leaves. She leaves, and then she's walking on the beach when she gets to Miami, and she thinks she sees the sales. You think he went? You think he went down there?
Yeah, to check on her. Yeah,
100%. I do. Yeah.
I do feel like he would definitely go down there. I don't know for sure, but I think he would definitely go after her. I thought he was, well, that's another book for another time. All right. So a couple other things happen in the book that we can talk about really quickly before we go. First of all, let's hit Hex and John. Is she holding something back from him?
Yeah. She's a sympath. Sympaths know everything.
Because she was saying to him, well, I do see the second, you know, I do see a shadow. Because he's like, why I keep seizing, you know? What do you think? What do you think, Sage?
Yeah, I feel like she's holding something back because I don't. I know you can see he's frustrated and he doesn't understand exactly why it's happening.
Yeah.
But like, and she kind of said, she tells him, well, I told you there's another shadow. You have another person within your grid. So, and then she kind of like changes the subject on him. Like, she, like, hey, let's just get ready and go. And I feel like that action kind of shows that she's like, kind of, she doesn't want to tell him who she senses.
Yeah, and in fact, she kind of covers it up by saying, well, she's your sister. Like that. Yeah. And then she's just like, you need to be very clean for this. So let's go take a shower together.
She distracts him with sex. Like
she did. She totally did. She totally did.
She put that dragon in by his wee wee. But I just pulled him. Right. And he just went like, I'll go wherever.
Typical Bam Bam.
And I love their relationship so much, but I don't know if she's holding back or if she's just studying right now. Because she's never seen it before. I think she suspects something is off, but I don't think she's not the type of person to say something without knowing. So she's very analytical like that. Like she studies situations, like every situation. So I think she does know, but I think she's just not willing to say anything yet,
Yeah.
Until she has all the puzzle pieces.
Yeah, like she's curious to a fault almost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm like, girl, it's something out there. And she's like, no.
Because she knows what he mouthed when he passed out, when he had the seizure in front of Rath's study. Like, she was there, she saw, she knew exactly what he said.
What he was using
more familiar with the old language than Quinn and Blake are. So it's like, she would have known exactly. Plus, she could just tell by his emotions and that there's and she knows and she's got to know it's not romantic towards Beth. She would know that so
right.
I would think that.
Well, so it could be a couple things, and this is just me, and it's not anything that's ever been written before, and it's for sure not anything I heard in any like group or anything like that. But she could be thinking that her father is trying to like speak through him. His father's like Darius is speaking through John. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be the strangest things we ever saw.
No, that would not be.
Are you serious? But I mean, like, it could be that. And like that might be like something that she's thinking. So I'm just trying to like figure out why she won't say like all that, because she won't spill yet. Anyway.
Oh, she doesn't want to hurt him. You know what I mean? Like, she knows that if she were to say something like, okay, I think you're Darius,
and then I'm wrong.
His whole world would change.
Yeah.
She wouldn't want to hurt him in that way.
Could be. There's more to come later in that stuff too. So Sax's dad is a dick. We all three agree with that. But my heart broke for him. Like I as much as his dad deserved Saxon like turning it in and ruining his plan, that had to hurt Sax. Like, what you guys got on him? I feel so bad.
His father's just a douchebag. Time is just, he Saxon asks him, like, do you hate me? And his dad's like, yes, I do.
Yeah.
No bones about it. He's just like, yeah, I do. And so at that point, Saxon just realized that he, I can't be associated with him any longer. And I don't even know why I come to his house anyway. I don't know why. I'm treated like shit. And, even the dog treat him like crap, because they follow suit with their master. But, and so, he's just like, he was, at that point, he's just like, I'm done with him. And that's really sad, that
it is
sad in general as a father and son relationship, but.
It's hard to watch, but I always thought Sax had a better relationship than Quinn and his dad, but
they didn't.
Right. Well, I thought the relationship
at
the house was better because Quinn used to go to his house a lot, right? So I assumed that he had a better relationship with his family, but I think it was before he was outed.
Before it came out, because this was a couple of years ago.
Or it's when his dad still thought that there was a chance to turn him, during his reign.
No, he said everything was great until I was able to keep it from my family until someone outed me. So, that's, I think, how their relationship shattered. But
but that was the first time that we saw them together, and it was jarring because I didn't expect it to be as bad. Well, he wasn't as bad as Quinn, but it still was bad. I don't like it. I don't love it. Like, how can you not love your child because they're gay? Like, I fucking hate the Glam Hero. They are the worst people in the world. Well, in this world. And the last one that we have tonight, how sweet is Z with Nala? We don't see enough of that. And oh my God, that was adorable. What did you guys think of that?
Well, he's my favorite. He's my number one. So I just love, because he's such a hard ass, right? Mm-hmm. And then you see him like adjusting her bow. He's like, hang on a second, I'm fixing her bow. Cute. It's just so cute. I really I can't wait. I hope this series goes on long enough for us to see her and her transition and then her mating and like see it what he does. Oh my God. Like, I really hope we get to see that in the future. Like,
I'm curious. About
like,
that.
Could you imagine like him and Rage as the girls go like on dates?
What's gonna happen.
What if Little Wrath?
Because what's gonna happen is that because even though like they're kind of raised as siblings, the young in the house, someone's never gonna hook up.
That's what I'm saying. So what if like Little Wrath has a crush on Nala and Nala don't want him, but Biddy does? Oh my God. Okay,
but no, but even before all of that, could you imagine if they're playing I'll show you yours if you show me mine, if you show me, and then like the dads walk in? Could you imagine? Like if Little Wrath and Nala are playing that game? Oh my God.
This is playing doctor.
Right. with Jane's stethoscope.
I promise you, Rage will turn into the beast immediately. People on the roof off the mansion. Fritz will be happy as fuck.
But hang on. I think we're spoiling, so let's stop.
No, we didn't. These are hypothetical.
You were talking about a child that hasn't been introduced yet.
Son of a bitch. Sorry, guys. I didn't even realize I did that. I was just going. Okay, all right. Well, that was the last thing. And next time, though, we will talk about our 5 favorite scenes that have happened thus far. We do have the shadows up next, and we're all agreed to bring a box of tissues. A lot of tissues, because this is a
lots
hard
of tissues.
For us. Oh my God. So no last.
That's like that's like one of the most beautiful covers too.
I know. This is my favorite cover.
Yeah, it's a really delicious cover.
And it's you can't. I don't know if you can tell, but like the words are like a hologram kind of.
Yeah, you can tell because when you're hitting the screen, almost like iridescent.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so pretty. So that's the next book, and I said next week because we'll probably get through this book like by the weekend because it's so amazingly written and it is so shattering. So
I'm not even on page 100 and I've already cried about 800 times. So
it's so sad. It's so sad. Like it starts out at page 1. You just like, what the fuck? It's very.
I needed to like not read it until after we recorded this.
Yeah,
so
I'll start
like
chapter 2. I think it's like chapter 2. It starts to get like really intense. But anyway, so join us.
No. It's like chapter 1. I don't know what you're chatting about.
I'm wishful thinking. Like give me a chapter. But anyway, so you guys do come back, and we also will talk about our 5 favorite scenes up through the shadows next time as well. Feel free to comment with your top 10 guys, and then comment with your top 5 scenes. And if you do, we'll probably talk about them because, you know, we probably share some of those. We really appreciate you guys for coming back, hanging out with us, and thank you for listening to us rattle about the king. See you guys next time. Have a wonderful evening.
Bye.
Bye. Not gonna stop recording.
No, I'm